In 1962, a 37-year-old English newspaper editor on vacation in the Seychelles was approached by a stranger on his second-to-last day and asked a question most people never get to hear. "Would you like to buy an island?" He said yes. He paid £8,000. And for the next 50 years, Moyen Island, a 24-acre abandoned plot of overgrown jungle in the Indian Ocean, became the only project that mattered to him. By the time he died on that island in 2012, at the age of 87, he had planted 16,000 trees by hand. He had introduced 120 giant tortoises. He had turned a forgotten, weed-choked piece of land into what is now officially recognized as the smallest national park in the world. He had turned down $54 million from developers who wanted to build a resort on it. He had gone to the island as a journalist. He died on it as something harder to name. A guardian, a builder, a man who decided in his late 30s that the most important thing he could do with his life was restore one small piece of the world that had been allowed to fall apart. This is the story of Brendan Grimshaw, and it starts not on an island, but in a newsroom. Grimshaw was born in 1925 in Dewsbury, Yorkshire. Industrial England, practical England, the kind of place where a career was built through steady application to the work in front of you. He became a journalist. He was good at it. By his mid-30s, he had worked his way up through several papers, eventually moving to Africa to edit the East African Standard in Nairobi, and later write for the Tanganyika Standard. He was living a version of success, a career with substance, work that mattered in the way that newspaper editing in colonial Africa during the independence era genuinely mattered. Tanzania was declaring independence. Kenya was preparing to follow. Grimshaw understood with the practical clarity of a man who had been paying attention to the world around him that his position would likely pass to someone local when the political transition was complete. He was 37 years old and beginning to wonder what came next. He went to the Seychelles on vacation with that question unresolved. He did not go looking for an answer. The answer came looking for him. The stranger who approached him on Mahe Island in 1962 was a local who had an island he wanted to sell, Moyen Island. 24 acres, 4.5 kilometers off the north coast of Mahe, in the warm Indian Ocean. It had been abandoned since the early part of the century. The vegetation had consumed everything. There were only 4 species of trees on the entire island. The undergrowth was so dense that coconuts fell and never reached the ground. There were 2 old graves on the property, said to belong to pirates. It was, by any reasonable assessment, a mess. Grimshaw stepped onto it and immediately understood that it was the most important thing he had ever seen. He bought it. He did not move there immediately. The transition took years. He returned to journalism, completed his commitments, arranged his affairs. But the island was always where he was going. He moved permanently in 1972. He did not go alone. He enlisted the help of a local Seychellois named René Antoine Lafortune, who became in the years that followed not simply a worker or an assistant, but Grimshaw's closest collaborator and constant companion. The two of them looked at 24 acres of impenetrable jungle and decided to build something from it that had never existed before. The early years were brutal. There were no birds on the island when they arrived. The native plant species had been choked out by invasive growth. The soil needed rehabilitation before anything productive could be planted in it. They worked with minimal tools, often by hand, cutting paths through vegetation that resisted every effort to clear it. Grimshaw would later say the work in the first years was enough to discourage most people from continuing. He and Lafortune were not most people. They planted trees, not a garden, not a windbreak, not a modest conservation gesture. They planted 16,000 trees, mahogany trees that would grow to 60 and 70 feet, native species that had been absent from the island for generations, plants specifically chosen to restore the ecosystem that development and neglect had dismantled. They built 4.8 kilometers of nature paths across an island that at its longest point measures only 400 meters. They saved rainwater. They installed electricity and a phone line. They did all of this with the specific patience of people who understood that the work was not measured in seasons, but in decades. The birds were the first sign that it was working. Grimshaw brought 10 birds from a neighboring island. They flew back. He brought more. He thought those had returned too. Then a few came back. He began feeding them. More followed. As the new trees matured and produced fruit, the numbers grew. By the time the island had fully recovered, more than 2,000 birds were living on Moyen, species that had not been seen on the island for years before Grimshaw arrived. Then came the tortoises. The Aldabra giant tortoise is native to the Seychelles, but had become locally extinct on many of the islands due to development and human carelessness. Grimshaw transported them to Moyen and built a breeding program. He kept the babies in his bedroom, he said, because if he let them go, he would never see them again. He painted numbers on their shells so he could identify them individually. He was described by one observer as the reptilian version of a cat lady. He took it as a compliment. By the end of his time on the island, Moyen was home to approximately 120 tortoises. A sign near the paths told visitors, "Please respect the tortoises. They are probably older than you." As the Seychelles became a popular tourist destination through the 1980s and 1990s, developers began looking at the islands with the particular attention of people who see potential profit in undeveloped land. Moyen was noticed. Its proximity to Mahé, its size, its white sand shore. A resort could be built here, a luxury property, something that would generate returns significant enough to justify very serious offers. The offers came. They kept coming. At various points, Grimshaw reportedly received proposals worth tens of millions of dollars. One account places the largest offer at $54 million. A Saudi prince, by some accounts, made an offer with a blank check attached. Grimshaw declined everyone. He had not spent 30 years planting trees by hand and raising tortoise babies in his bedroom to hand the island to someone who wanted to build a hotel on it. The island was not an investment. It was not an asset to be realized. It was a living system that he and René Lafortune had built from nothing. And its value was precisely the thing that made it commercially attractive. The ecosystem, the birds, the tortoises, the paths through trees that had been growing for decades. And that value would be destroyed by the development that would pay for it. He had a different plan. For years, he worked with the Seychelles Ministry of Environment to have Moyen Island designated as a national park. Independent, protected, permanently removed from the category of things that could be bought and converted. In 2008, it was officially declared Moyen Island National Park. It is, by land area, the smallest national park in the world. It also holds the distinction of having more species per square foot than any other national park on Earth. The sign at the entrance reads, as Grimshaw wrote in his will, "Moyen Island is to be maintained as a venue for prayer, peace, tranquility, relaxation, and knowledge for Seychellois and visitors from overseas of all nationalities, colors, and creeds. Not for profit, not for development, for everyone, forever." René Lafortune died in 2007. Grimshaw was 81 years old. He had been on the island for 35 years and had built everything around him with this man beside him. He continued alone, caring for the tortoises and the trees and the paths that the two of them had cut through a jungle that had once resisted everything. His father had joined him on the island at one point and passed away there. Grimshaw had no children. He was unmarried. When he died on Moyen Island on July 3, 2012, at the age of 87, he was buried next to his father in the ground he had spent 50 years rebuilding from nothing. This story is worth holding against another one. Masafumi Nagasaki, the Japanese man who lived alone on a deserted island in the Ryukyu archipelago for 32 years, wanted the island to swallow him. He raked the shore clean every morning in white gloves. He watched over the beach with the devotion of someone who knew that what he was protecting was not a resource, but a sanctuary. He wanted to die there and be absorbed into it. In 2018, Japanese authorities found him unconscious on the beach and brought him back to civilization. A government apartment on a populated island 37 miles away from the place that had been his home. Nagasaki wanted to be taken by a typhoon. Instead, he was taken by the state. Grimshaw wanted something different. He did not want to escape into the island. He wanted to build something inside it, to take a place that had been abandoned and ruined and turn it into something that would outlast him. He succeeded completely. When he died on Moyen, the tortoises were still walking the paths he had cut. The birds were still living in the trees he had planted, and the island was protected by law from the development that would have destroyed everything he spent his life creating. He died exactly where he had chosen to die, surrounded by the nature he had spent 50 years restoring. The island did not absorb him. He had already become part of it. The tortoises on Moyan Island are still there. The 16,000 trees are still growing. The 4.8 kilometers of path that Brendan Grimshaw and Renee Lafortune cut through the jungle by hand still wind through an ecosystem that did not exist before two men decided to build it. Visitors can go today. They wade ashore from boats. There is no jetty, just as there was never a jetty when Grimshaw was alive, and walk the paths and watch the tortoises move slowly through the undergrowth. The sign reminds them to be respectful. The tortoises, after all, are probably older than they are.